Hello everyone, my name is J-Tang, and I'm the number 1 Sis in the North American Eternal Return server. Currently ranked 3 at the time of this video, former rank 1, and soon to be rank 1 again. What you're about to watch is me going over my thought processes while playing Sissela. Because yes, people can watch my clips, my replays, and my montages to see what decisions I make in game, but even if you do that, you won't understand why I'm making these decisions and how I come to conclusions. So I'm making this video to elaborate on the mindset I have to make plays, like when to hook and who to focus and other decisions. This guide is meant mainly for Sissela players, but even experienced players and other characters can learn some things too, so stick around. So now that we're into the game replay, I just want to go over my team comp. We have a Sissela, a Sua, and a Charlotte. Now originally, our Sua was going to play Shukai, but I asked him to play a character with a bit more damage because unlike popular belief, Sissela is not a character that can solo DPS. You might think, oh well, Sissela tops damage charts and just chunks enemies, especially with ult. Well, that's mostly poke damage, and Sis has a lot of trouble finishing off enemies on her own. And if Sissela is the sole threat of a team, then it's really easy to just target her and kill her off first. Now watch what I'm doing here. A lot of experienced players will already know this, but you want to be crafting at boxes so you can craft and loot at the same time. I'll make your loot process a lot faster and you'll get your build done much quicker. And if you're playing a character like Sissela, you can also just farm animals very quickly while crafting, just with your abilities. Like look at this, 3 animals dead, barely spent any time at all. So I'm able to get a campfire off, and I do want to cook my bread quickly just because there's a chance I might want to kill an enemy later. There's actually a lot of action in Uptown, especially around the Hyperloop. I do end up picking this frozen pizza up, so I do go back to the campfire here and cook that as well, because the more food the merrier, especially because food is so great early game when characters have such low base health in the first place because they haven't scaled up. The food matters a lot more because it's a flat amount. Now I'm unfortunately not able to grab the bracelet from these 3 because it's not a real distribution, so I actually walk over here, and this is where I meet the Charlottes. She tries to steal my dog, so I'm able to get that killed off. And now that her stuff is gone, I'm able to just walk at her. I pull myself closer to throw an auto attack, and it slows her just enough so I can keep chasing her. She does throw her W's at me, but thankfully I was not hit with a stun one, which means I can definitely just go in. So I eat my food, I start chasing her, and throw a Q, and right as she hits the speed gate, that's when I pull her, because all the speed that she's going to gain from the speed gate is when she's going to be stunned. So she's not going to move at all. I'm right next to her, and unfortunately, her teammate actually comes in here, so this becomes a bit of a rough situation for me. They get shields, they get stuff, but I'm able to actually play this calmly. I throw down a Q here, and right after that, I'm able to dodge the stun and blink away over the bus here. Now look at this position. It might not actually look that good for me, but if you're a Sis player, you know how good this is, because right now, I'm under no threat because Estelle just used her E. She has to walk all the way around this bus just to get to me at this point. And this Adina just used her abilities as well, so she's gonna have a hard time getting to me. Meanwhile, I'm completely safe over this bus. I'm able to ult, and they're still coming around this bus here. So thankfully, I've cut it away with that blink enough, and I'm able to do a lot of damage with a free ult, basically. Unfortunately, I do miss this pull, but just throwing down that Q and having my ult come down is so much damage. I'm able to just barely escape that stun with the speed gates. And because they're still chasing me and they're still not able to get on top of me, I just throw another Q back and Adina dies. So I get a kill on 1v2, and it's not over yet because this Estelle tried to get me here. I'm able to thankfully pull her back with a QE and auto attack for the slow. And she's still chasing. It's a little rough for me here, but I still have plenty of tools at my disposal. So because I killed the Adina, I do have my caltrops up. So what I want to do here is I actually throw my caltrops and Q at the same time to animation cancel my caltrops and throw some more damage to my Q. I then use bubble. Probably not the best bubble because I get hit by the W, but it does give me some movement speed to get away. I'm trying to just kite away here, trying to goad them into another fight and use the speed gate to my advantage during the Q before I hit the speed gate to not cancel it. but I am tagged by that W. That means I will go down for the still, which was a bit unfortunate. Maybe I could have like kited down farther so they had to chase a little bit farther from me. But still very good in a 1v2 scenario. Almost got both of them there. So Sissela is really strong early game, prior to contrary belief. As long as you take advantage of enemies you can beat, such as that Adina, and use Sissela's kiting ability to deal more damage than you can take. That entire fight, I probably did like 3 times their damage, especially because I healed so much of it with my passive. Like, as long as you're staying far away from enemies and they're not able to hit you for free, then you're doing a good job, Sissela. So you would just want to keep throwing out Qs and making sure they can't reach you in if you're outnumbered. Alright, here I'm just looking around to see if there's some more farm. I get to cook because we're out of pizza. And I walk over here trying to see if the boars are up. Unfortunately, they're not. I do need level 9 before the first objective spawns, because you want level 9 and caltrops before first objective because you'll be really strong then. Thankfully, we find a bear here. And if I recall correctly, I think this tree would be free. Yes, it is. Yeah. So if you get a tree and you have no items, you definitely want to make Blood Cloak. Decomposition is such a good item on Sissela, especially if you're playing like a sustained damage comp such as this one, where you're just able to throw out multiple Qs and the fights last forever, because that damage adds up. Even if you're not on like one of those teams, you're like on a burst team, you definitely want decomp, because your AoE damage will just proc it on everyone and you get to deal it so continuously. So I end up hyper looping into forest, hoping to get some little farm like these boars or chickens. Unfortunately, we're not the first team here, so we're able to miss out on that. But there still is a little bit up here. Just farming a little bit of downtime while other teams are also on the map. Now it ends up being here that we find this Kacha here. And I end up throwing my ball, knowing it won't hit her, but watch closely, because I'm just waiting for my opportunity. And actually Qs, this is when I know I can just pull her in. And by this point in time, the fight's already over. Like, I could just do nothing and this fight is completely won. Thankfully, my Stu was able to follow up on that hook because she had a lot of time to prepare for it, because this Kacha was hooked from so far away. The hook actually lasts longer because she was hooked from farther away. And now I'm able to just land my ult before the stun comes in, and then completely negate this dual sword Yuki's damage, and the fight's just won. We get another hook here just after his E. Another thing to note is that you do want to save your E a lot of time if the enemy has dashes or blinks, because they could dodge your E unpredictably with them. So you just want to wait until they exhaust all their abilities or all their tools. Try to land an E because it's much easier. So now we walk into here. This Hessian actually hyperloops on top of us, is able to blink away, but we are trying to chase her. And then she runs right into the other team here. So we try to get a kill on her. Unfortunately, it goes to the other team. But we're able to pressure her, and the Heart actually gets scared and blinks. And this is when I know we can probably win this fight, because Heart has no blink. Yes, they might have their ultimates, but I feel like we're very strong at this point. We already have 3 kills, and we have all our ultimates as well. So I walk over here around where they don't suspect me, and right here. Yes, Arda does not have like a dash or a blink, but I'm just waiting to see exactly which direction he goes, because I don't have to E immediately. I'm going to wait for him to choose the direction, and then I pull him in. It also gives my team more time to group up with me and follow up on the pull. So I put that down. I don't have caltrops, otherwise I would have thrown them down here. And now we just disengage because Li Daolin's coming in, and it might look a bit scary, but this is such a winning position because I'm able to kite away and throw some more damage onto the back line. So I throw another Q at this Heart. Looks a little scary. Thankfully, the Charlotte's able to keep us alive. Oh, sorry about that. I didn't mean to press that. I get another hook right onto this Heart. Able to throw one more Q, I believe. No, I do. And look how far she has to chase me into this choke point here. Like, she's in the middle between my team and I, so she's gonna just get collapsed on because I ran in a direction that she can't really chase me for free. And I still have bubble, so I don't even need to use it. I just throw another empowered auto because Wilson came back to me. And at this point, the fight's already won. Because I'm able to just throw one more Q, part goes down, I get a free time to ult, no hesitation there. And Battle Zone starts, so they can't leave. It's just going to be a 3v2 from this point on. So I just end up hitting the body a little bit. Seems like my team wants to play aggressively, so I play aggressively too. I land a hook onto this Arda here. And just throw a bit more damage with my Q. And this fight's basically an auto win. I don't really have to go through the rest of it because Dylan has no ult. They're forced into choke points. And Arda just blows up. Well done by us. And that's why you always want to keep poking the backline, because the backline, odds are they do want to jump on you at some point. And if they do, you want to be in a position where you can just kill them before they can kill you. We end up buying some stuff here. I think I end up buying Nightmare Nails. Yeah, because I usually do this, because healing reduction is so good on Sissela. You're able to proc it so much, just like decomposition or debilitation. All these passive items, they just do so much work for Sissela because you're able to hit so much AoE. And you're usually in a safe enough position to do so. So here, I do see some pings that they're taking the bear up there, and I know because the yellow zone's closing that they might be wanting to come down here. I'm trying to just get in this cheeky position here, so I can put some more damage. Unfortunately, they spot me with the Koch W, which is unfortunate because I would have gotten like a ton more damage if they didn't and they just walked past. But this still gives me like a little bit more time because they're already so close to throw a Q. And I do hit the Kasha, which might not seem like such a great deal, and it doesn't end up mattering that much in this fight. But look at how much damage that did. That did 400, and she also has a Hex proc on her. And she just feels a little bit more scared because of it. So always get some free Qs in before fights, especially with like cheeky angles where they can't hit you back really. So stuff like that you want to look for, especially if there's downtime and you know a team's coming. Right here though, Estelle does want to make a play here. She goes forwards. I end up deciding that my course of action for this fight is to ignore this Estelle, because Estelle's not going to be the damage dealer. She's not going to do much, especially if we have a Charlotte. So I just want to zone off the backline here, especially because they're two squishy backliners, and they have to get closer to do some damage. So I throw my first Q at this Adina here, and because I walk back, this is still trying to stun me, but because I walk back, all she has to do is, all she's forced to do is stun the Sua because I'm out of range. And right here, I'm just waiting for my cooldowns. I'm trying to dodge as well. I dodged W over here from the Adina, and I'm able to get another Q because I'm so close. I don't dodge backwards, because that means I'm gonna have a harder time getting Qs onto opponents, especially like Qs involving Q1 with a traveling Wilson, because that deals more damage. So I want to kite kind of sideways here, even though it puts me more at risk, because I'm able to do more damage and I have more control over the fight. Right here, I see this Kasha playing a bit aggressively, but I still want to push onto this Adina here, so I just throw the Caltrops down, and because I'm so far forward, Kasha's wailing shots into me, I do place the W just to block some shots and reposition. I'm still able to stay inside the Charlotte ult, and I throw another Q at this Adina. And because this Estelle already used her Q at the start of the fight, and Adina so far, she has nothing to instantly stun me, Kasha has no CC, I just throw down my ult immediately after the Q, and no one can stop me. And I'm full health, so no one's gonna burst me down during my ultimate. And look at this. I have my empowered auto ready, so I just auto attack the Adina, and I don't even need my Q to kill Adina, so I just throw it at the Kasha here, and Adina goes down. Basically 100 to 0 by me in like three Qs, an ult, and an auto attack. Like, that's crazy. So that's a great play. I blink out just for safety's sake. I could have probably blinked forward and maybe killed the Kasha or something, but I'm very happy with that play because the result of that is that we do get these two objectives here. I get this box here, and we also get a meteor, which is actually huge for us instead of just splitting between the other teams. So that's one meteor. I'm gonna get another meteor here, and then I'm actually gonna go try to buy some items as well, because we have a decent amount of pets on us to buy at least one item each. So we end up walking down here towards the console. Fortunately, we don't have vision here, so what we have to do here is, especially around bushes like these, we have to check them. Even if you have like a checker yourself, like the Sua checked it for me as well, you want to always be trying to check bushes with your Q and never walk straight into them. So I also check it, and because I check it here with my Q, like I didn't know they were in there, but because I do throw the Q before I even know, they get chunked. This also keeps me ready in case there actually is a person, so I'm able to back off in time. And there's not much they can do, so they have to back off. We're able to get this buy go in. I end up buying a tree for myself because Persona is so strong on me, and I'm able to do so much AoE damage in this fight. Because sustained fights like these, you definitely want to have a percent skill amp, because you're just gonna pump so much damage with your Qs. And what we want to do here is just control this area where the boxes drop, get some vision here. And we also know that this team's the beach because of the pings, and we know exactly which team it was because we saw them earlier, so you'll see us in a little quarrel with them, a little squabble. We could have walked into that bush, but I decided they're just gonna go around anyway, so I go around as well. We're Q in, we get some damage. But this is actually a really scary team to play against because Aiden can jump on you, this ARI is gonna pump damage to both you and your teammates. And Kiara is probably one of Sissela's biggest counters because you can't deal damage to her half the time. And she basically one-shots you if you're not careful, so watch how we play this out. It's actually really scary here. So get my Q onto their front line, especially since it's Aiden, because Aiden's a bit squishy. Very good to get those Qs on. I throw my caltrops down, but this is now looking really bad because we're not able to get on the Aiden anymore. And my team is in the middle of a Kiara ult. I'm able to pull this eye here for a bit more damage and hopefully to scare her, but she's not scared at all. So that pull was a bit of a waste. Aiden's able to re-engage, and I take a lot of damage here from the Kiara ults and the Q, so that was a bit scary. I probably could have died if like one more misplay was made by me. But right now, despite like this situation, it's completely losing for us, but I'm feeling very safe because Kiara has no rapier skill. She is at the start. She just ulted me, she just Q'd me, she has nothing left. So even though she's walking at me, I feel safe enough to throw a Q at these two because they have nothing to kill me either. Like I'm just completely ignoring the fact that they exist because they have no tools to kill me. Even though I'm 100 HP, I walk forwards for a Q, and this just helps my team out a little bit more, you know? So right now, this fight is losing. It's losing. I'm able to throw another Q on this Kiara. Not getting too close because she will have rapier skill. Oops. Sorry for that again. Let me just zoom in a bit more. Yeah, it's a bit losing here. But slowly, over time, you'll notice our health bar is changing a little bit. And their health bar is going down a little bit. The Sissela passive is in play. We got Starlet in play. This character heals every 4 seconds. Like 500 HP total. Isn't that crazy? And they're still trying to chase us. They have no healing of their own, and they have no ults. Sure, we don't have many ults of our own, but we do have Sua, we do have me, we have infinite health at this point. So this fight went from losing to even, and now this is when I start pinging, and I know that we're gonna win this fight. So I ping, I emotes, I try to chase them. We don't have much vision over here, so I'm just kind of looking around. This is why I Q upwards instead of left over here. But watch this, like, what can they even do? Because they're chased. I'm full health again because my passive, and I've got a Sua behind me, I got a Charlotte behind me. They have to keep running. Like, this might seem crazy pulling myself into a team, especially with like an Aya, an Aiden, a Kiara, 2 melee characters, but completely safe here. This is a completely safe thing to do. They have no ultimates up. They're not going to stop me. So I just push the advantage here because this is where my team's strong and this is where their team is weak. So I just throw another Q. I choose my target. Not only is Kiara closer, she also has no dash because she's Kiara. So I just throw my pull there. Throw my caltrops on, and that's a 1-4-0 in what looked like to be a losing fight. So that was a great play by us. My team did very well there to keep ourselves alive. And we know that they're still here because they probably want to res here very quickly. So I end up walking in here. Aiden tags the Sua with an E, so this is a little scary for me because I may get comboed when Aiden goes in. So I end up hooking myself with a shield and hopefully to bait him in because I'm planning to blink right after he tries to go in here. And he'll only hit the Sua, meanwhile we'll just fight back. But what Sua actually does here is brilliant. She actually just walks up towards the Aiden and denies his W and his E by just canceling them with her own E. And this is beautiful. Like, this is still a hard fight to beat because their team kind of counters us. I'm not able to do so much damage, and AR Aya is kind of hard for me to fight. But look at the positioning of my team. Like, Charlotte is in between me and Sua, so she's able to help both of us out at the same time. Aya is close enough for me to hit, so this is when I start hitting the Aya, and Charlotte also gets a Q onto this Aya, so I know at this point that we're gonna kill this Aya first. Especially since she used ult like that. So what I do, I just throw my abilities down. I ended up ulting there while my Q was on cooldown, and throw another Q. And even though this Aya is completely chunking me, my Charlotte went to help the Sua. It looks really bad for me, but look, I do not care, because my health is the resource. And I take my entire health bar full of damage, but I'm still alive, and that's what matters. There's my health, I still have bubble, I still have my blink, so I'm not worried at all. And look at Aya, because she wanted to kill me, because she wanted to finish me off, she's in complete bad positioning, and she used her E to try to get to me. I just turn around, get the kill, and now this fight's looking a lot better. Because of Charlotte, because of my Charlotte, my Sua stayed alive through all the bursts, especially with Aiden. And we're gonna win this fight. It's not a free win though, so we have to play a little bit carefully, and we have to play with tempo because we have to race this Kiara's ultimate before my teammates go down. So what I do here, I actually play a little bit safe because I didn't know what was going on in the moment after killing the Aya. But after I realized what's going on, I throw my Q, even though it's not going to hit anyone. I actually just wanted to throw that Q out to pull myself closer to the enemy. Also to get myself a shield, and to guarantee that we're going to kill them. This is basically simplifying in chess, you could say. Just reducing any variables and trying to get close to the opponent just to finish them off by sheer numbers, because we're just going to win that fight if I got close to them. Thankfully, we're able to terminate there, and another fight's win. I'm able to get my last item here, get my Death Rune. That's going to be a lot more damage for me, and this game's looking really good for us. So right now, we're slowly trying to make our way down to the Omega at this point. It's been up for quite a while, and we do want to take it if no one's there, so we just slowly make our way through the forest, farming whenever we need to. Probably the strongest team in the lobby right now. Yeah, looking at the items, there's a couple other strong teams, but we're the one with 11 kills. I have plenty of mastery, so I feel safe going over here. Unfortunately, another team comes in right when they hit Omega, and our Sua actually just bonks her little staff there on the Omega, so she's forced to blink away. So this is looking very bad for us. And Omega's going down quickly. They're shredding it with their 2 ADCs. They get it for free, but is it really free? It isn't really a losing situation for us. No, it isn't, because look at them. They're looking at the Omega body. Their 2 AD carries are basically as far up as their tank is. So what can I do here? I'm totally enraged to Q, so what do? I Q. Now, I don't pull immediately, because pulling immediately would mean if I miss, then that opportunity is gone. I want to look for a guaranteed win here. So what I do is I wait, I see that this heart's going up, and that's when I Q, because I know exactly the directions he's trying to go. And I know that she's going to be easier to hook than the Razi if Razi presses W, so I hook the hearts. I place the Caltrops down, I throw my Q. Look at that damage, having 5 items is so good. And she's just dead to my ult, so I just ult here before she gets out of range, and the fight's already won. Thankfully, my team all lives here, but we do have another team over here I saw with the Koch W, so we do have to get some damage from this. And we make the right play by actually following the enemy. Not only do we disengage, this is a 2-for-1 combo, because we disengage and we also get to chase the enemy and get more kills. So yeah, pulling myself closer to get to the enemy. I'm not scared of dying at all. This is a great comp to 3v2 with a Sua, a Charlotte. They're not going to go through us, so we just run straight at them. Even if the abilities don't hit, we're just overpowering them. And yeah, Razi's able to get away. Lennox is not. Looking pretty good for us. And at this point, Wick has spawned. We're trying to get some vision, so we end up going over to this side. Trying to get to this console here to prepare for Wick. Unfortunately, we're not the first team there. We end up seeing this team. And I end up throwing a Q. We take a lot of damage from the Charlotte Q, like that chunk. So I shield myself, trying to block for the Sua. Didn't really matter that much because she was already shielded. But remember to always be shielding yourself. Basically in any situation. Like, this is crazy. Right now at 30% CDR, rank 5, this is a 5.6 second cooldown, which doesn't seem like that crazy. But if you shield yourself, the cooldown goes down by a flat 3 seconds. So that is a 2.6 second cooldown for a shield that lasts 3 seconds. You can permanently shield yourself at rank 5. And even like a little bit before rank 5 too. Like, and this is just at 30% CDR. At 40% CDR, it gets even crazier. So shield yourself a lot, guys. That's one of the biggest tips I can give you. Right now, we're just trying to whittle this Wick down. Get it in a choke point, so if the enemy tries to get it, then they'll be in a riskier position. And why are we whittling this Wick down if the enemy team's right next to us? Because we like the odds. In a situation like this, both teams want to be whittling the Wick down, so at least one team will get it in a 50-50. Rather than if both teams just kind of stall around it, other teams will come, and then there's 3 teams, which makes it 33% for each team, and another team will come in, it's 25%. We kind of want to whittle it down, so at least one of us teams gets it. So what I want to do is just kind of keep this Wick towards us. I should have pulled it there to keep it while I was trying to walk away. But here it's actually getting really low now, so watch very closely, because they want to engage and get this Wick at the same time to try to burst us here. And Wick is completely on us, so they're forced to come to us. I end up missing this hook because the Kasha E shifts, so it's a little bit scary here, but I know I still have some more tools. I throw my Caltrops down and I throw my Q down, and look at that damage. 5 items right onto the Kasha. Kasha takes so much, and I end up bubbling here, not just to reduce damage from the Debbie ult if it hits, but also just for the movement speed, to actually avoid the Debbie ult like in the first place, so I don't get hit. I also reposition. This is much better for me. Actually get a CC immune here, and look at the positioning here. We get the Wick, thankfully, but even if we didn't get the Wick, this is a winning fight, because look at them. They have to walk through the Caltrops. The Charlotte can't go to their tank, and look how far they have to go because this chokehold was just amazing. This Debbie Marlene used all her mobility just to get in, and all she can do now is just throw parries. Like, she parries my Q. I don't really care because I have my ult coming up. I throw my ult down, and she's only headed in the right direction. That's an easy pull. Charlotte ults. It doesn't block my ults, but even if it did, we still had plenty of firepower. I blink in forwards, get that kill, and I definitely could have killed this Kasha here, but I decided not to because it's just about to be day 5. I couldn't take any risk, especially if my blink's down. You never know what's going to come around the corner, especially around a Wick. So I believe I made the right choice here, even though I knew if I wanted to chase this Kasha, I definitely could have. Because I have glacial shoes that gives me extra speed. I have my W to give me speed, and I can just keep self-hooking myself. But staying with my team was a better call here. And right now we're just kind of recouping here before we go on for another expedition. I buy some items. And I end up making tap roots here. And tap roots is a very strong item for Sissela. You might think, oh, you can make red shoes and have extra damage and CDR, or not damage, or not CDR, extra damage and heal reduct, but that's not what Sissela wants. What Sissela wants is cooldown, because what happened to our E? It was on a 2.6 second cooldown before. Now it is 4.8 on regular, and if you shield yourself, it is on a 1.8 second cooldown because it reduces itself by 3 seconds if you poke yourself. So having a shield for 458 every 1.8 seconds that can reposition you is kind of strong. And that's just one of her abilities. Like, my ultimate is lower cooldown. I can probably use W twice in a fight, and especially my Q. Like, this is crazy. You always want at least 30% CDR. If you can get 40%, you're looking good, because 2.4 second cooldown on your Q is just amazing for Sissela. But yeah, this is definitely probably best in slot for me. At least until next season, where they introduce like next Emerald tablet, and I have like another healing reduction character. But right now we're just farming, trying to get control over this area while we have Wick, trying to press our advantage because we definitely, at this point, are the strongest team. I see this ward here. I think, oh, maybe it's the Kacha. It is the Kacha, but we can't be sure, so I just kind of want to grab vision here. They kill the Kacha over there. We notice that there's 3 teams alive. So what do? We look here. Like, our Wick is still up for quite a sizable amount of time, and we just want to control more of the map. So we walk over here. We see this team. I didn't notice there was another team at first, so I thought going to walk up. They end up walking down, so I missed my Q, but my Caltrops kind of stopped this Abigail and this Marcus from doing anything important. And this Marcus is now completely stuck between 2 teams. I end up going down to zone the Abigail just to keep her low in case she ever wants to go in. She'll get punished a lot. And then I turn my attention onto this Marcus. This Marcus here, trying to get away, has no ultimate from early apparently. And we're just able to slowly kill him here. I get a pull here. At the same time, my Sua gets her E, which is kind of like anti-synergy, but it's just fine here, and we're able to kill him. Unfortunately, Sua ends up using their blink here, which ends up in her getting down, and that's not looking good for us, especially in a scenario like this. And while I'm trying to deal damage to the back line, I end up getting my ult cancelled by Adina's E. I didn't realize that was going to stun me there. So that's looking really bad for us. What is it? While we were killing Marcus, I actually got this Adina to half health even without ult. So instead of walking down with my Charlottes, I realized that Estelle has no ultimate. This Adina is trying to push forwards, and I'm on the other side of a van. Like, this is exactly what happened in the first fight against them. I was on the opposite side. I'm able to chunk out damage while I try to chase me, and I kite around them. But once again, I throw another Q. Look at the damage that deals. Like, you guys gotta hit carries with this. It feels so good. And yeah, I use W not only to just avoid some damage, but also for the movement speed, so I can kite farther up here, away from the Kacha, because I just want to be dealing damage while Kacha can't deal that much damage to me. So I shield myself. I throw another Q back, and they're bleeding. I have Wick. I have debilitation. I have healing reduction, so this is looking very good for us now. Estelle wasn't able to chase very far because the other team was coming, but even if it didn't matter because I'm going to win this fight. I walk over, I shield myself just in case again because it's basically no cooldown, and Adina actually gets in range of my auto attack, so instead of queuing, I just auto attack to guarantee the kill in case she blinked or something, because they would just follow her instead of queuing, where if she blinked, it would completely miss her because she blinked past it. And now, with my Q, I end up throwing it at this Kacha. Unfortunately missing the pull, but it does not matter. The fact that my Charlotte is alive means a lot. I'm able to ignore this Estelle completely, so just blinking right past her, gonna kill this Kacha here. It's looking very good for me. Now me and Charlotte get away. Unfortunately, Sua goes down, so it's just a 2v1v3. There's nothing this Estelle can do, so we're just going to finish off the body heal real quick. And right now, we're just looking for a second place. And hopefully to chase this Estelle, get her kill, or get killed. Can't speak right now. Try to kill her off. And here, I end up buying, I believe, attack skill. Yep, it's attack skill because I feel that the enemy team wasn't that close to me. And even though my blink is down, hopefully it does matter if my blink ends up being up later on. But right now, what do? I kind of try to look for the shot, or this Estelle here, not able to find her, and we see this enemy team coming up, so I'm just hoping that Estelle's somewhere in the area so we can kill her off before having to deal with the team of 3. And something like that ends up happening. They find the Estelle here. We want to chase her, but first off, I throw a Q. Charlotte also throws a Q, chases off this Hejin here. And now, we're kind of just trying to go with this Estelle away from the enemy team, so we stay away from them and we can kill this Estelle solo. So that's what we're trying to do here. I'm not using many important abilities. Charlotte's not using many important abilities. We're keeping everything safe. I'm even saving my Caltrops just in case they come, because I know they're going to try to come. And of course, they try to come. So once I see them coming, I try to dip into this bush here. Get some more damage, and look at this situation here. It looks so losing for us, but what ends up happening is that this team of 3 is completely off sync. Like, Abigail is over here, And this is basically a 2v2v1, which is well in favor of us, especially if the Hessian doesn't realize that Abigail's behind her, which she doesn't. And what ends up happening here is that this Hessian uses all her abilities to try to chase into this Estelle, and I'm able to throw down my Caltrops and get in sync with my Charlotte, because now we know the real objective here is to just kill the Hessian, because Hessian overextended. We gotta make the most of this fortune and hopefully snag a win or at least a couple kills on this. So I pull myself forwards here to get close to Hessian, also get myself with shield. I throw my auto attack and I blink over just to ensure that I get the kill on her, and before she can use any abilities like her W, which ends up missing because I blinked. At this point, we're just trying to stay alive here. We didn't realize they didn't have that much timer, so thankfully those two end up dying. Unfortunately, Estelle does not die to us, so we don't get that much timer back, which would have mattered a lot because we end up having just around the same amount of timer as this Abigail. Now watch what happens. It's a 2v1. So that's looking good. I end up making the losing a little bit of time here because I end up checking the body looking for something for some reason. Right now, what I want to do is get as fast as possible to get into the zone. So I've got 10 seconds left. We both got 10 seconds left. We gotta kill this Abigail in 10 seconds or some... That's our last chance. I do end up making a misplay here. Unfortunately, I end up trying to pull her to me, and I end up trying to missing my Q there because I tried to pull her out of the zone to get us more timer than her, which ends up being a mistake because I definitely needed that Q, because look what happens. We just barely died before her. Yes, we got the kill, but unfortunately we died before her, which means we got second place. So just a little slip up at the end. I end up wasting a bit too much time on the Hedgen's body for no reason, and I also tried to pull the Abigail out of the zone, which could have worked definitely, but it was definitely more guaranteed if I ended up just wailing my damage on her. So not too bad of a game. 63,000 damage with a comp that didn't look like it would work at first, but very, very good placements. We were able to win basically every fight, especially the 3v3s, and just barely miss out on the win at the end. So that was a fun game. Okay, so what can we learn from that game? There were 11 fights, including the Abigail fight at the end, and a lot of them went my way. But how did it become my way? Well, a lot of those fights you could see me playing aggressively, because Sissela is not much of a character if you can't play aggressively. Yes, you can throw Qs around, yes, you can press Alt for 10 trillion damage in the back line, but if you're not playing aggressively, you're not putting fear into the enemy's hearts, and you're not putting them into bad positions. All you're doing is giving damage. And damage, while amazing, any character can just throw damage down. What you want to do is win fights, and damage isn't always the way to win fights. So I was in the front lines with my Sua, trying to put down damage, trying to zone off my opponents, and try to get them to use spells on me, especially with Aya using her auto attacks on me instead of like anyone else. And I was completely safe in those times, because even though I was playing aggressively, I considered myself to be very safe because I was usually holding blink, I was pulling myself, so I was getting the shield, and I was in a good position most of the time. Another thing I did was play around my team composition strength. So what I did was abuse the fact that I had a Charlotte on my team, so I was able to take poke and also deal poke. So even though, like, yeah, maybe they did the same amount of damage to me with their ability as I did with my Q, I have a Charlotte behind me that's going to heal me straight up, and I also have a Sua to shield me in case things get like really bad. So that's why I was able to play so aggressively. And especially with that fight in Forest, the first one against that Kiara team, yeah, we were losing, but our comp strength was a sustained fight. And because we had a Charlotte, because we had a Sissela, we were able to sustain so much stronger than the enemy and just completely overpower them at the end. And also, the fights got a little scrappy near the end, especially the ones in Factory and beyond. So how did we kind of overcome the situations, especially with the Sua going down? Well, what I did was look for opportunities. You just gotta keep looking for opportunities and maximize whatever gains you can get from the situation. So yeah, my Sua goes down, unfortunate, it's a bummer, but looking at that situation, I realized that I could turn it around. And that's exactly what I ended up doing. So I wasted no time. Even with my ult getting cancelled, I knew that it was still winnable. So I turned on the Adina, and then I turned on the Kasha, and I turned that losing fight into a winning one. And also with the fight at the very end with the Hejin, I realized that, oh yes, the Abigail's not with him. This is technically a 2v2, and their Hejin's in a bad spot, so I can definitely kill her in time. So even though things are looking bad, and even though you might be outnumbered or in a bad spot, you can always look for opportunities to turn it around. So that's it for today. This is my first video of this type, and unfortunately I wanted to get more clips, but unfortunately, yeah, maintenance happened. So I'm just gonna edit this, put some things together, and upload it. If you have any more questions, if you have anything you want to say, or any replays you want me to go over, just DM me. You can also comment. I do care about you guys, and I do want the North American competitive scene to grow, especially if you're playing Sissela. So thank you very much for watching, and peace out. I hope you learned something.